Section 1.7, Selecting Procedures for Determining Limits. Alrighty, we're going to take the limit of this crazy looking thing. This one doesn't use factoring to do it. Now, first thing we want to do real quick is to see what is f of 7. If we plugged in 7, what do we get? And when you do that, you'll notice the bottom is 0, so we know right off this is not going to be a plug-in and figure it out. You have to use some sort of process. So to do this one, it's we're going to use something called the conjugate to do it. So let me rewrite it so that we can see it better for what's about to happen. All right, what we do is we multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of the square root looking piece. And the conjugate looks like this: x plus 2 plus 3, top and bottom. You're allowed to multiply top and bottom by something because this right here is 1. And so when you multiply by 1, it doesn't change its value. Anyway, so what we did is we changed this right here to a plus. If that was a plus, we'd make that a minus. And we do this square root-like part. These problems are really weird, but they're very obvious. When you have a square root, plus or minus something, this is the method. So it's kind of obvious, but you got to remember because it's so unique. Okay, now what we're going to do is FOIL out the top. So we're going to multiply this, multiply this, multiply this, and multiply this. So you're going to get the limit as x approaches 7 still of x plus 2, because the square root times the square root is just x plus 2. Because the inside is what's left. Then you have a plus 3 square root x plus 2. Then you have minus 3 square root x plus 2. And then you have a negative 3 times positive 3, which is negative 9. And that's all over x minus 7 times the square root of x plus 2 plus 3. All right, looks like a big mess. Like, what just happened? You'll see. Now, what you should see is these two disappear because they cut each other out. And that's the whole point of the conjugate. The whole point of the conjugate is trying to get things to disappear. You will see. All right, and then if we combine this and this, won't we leave us with an x minus 7 on top? We have the x minus 7 bottom, and we have the square root of x plus 2 plus 3. Now, if you were to try to start foiling this out, you will find yourself a big headache. Because what you should notice, don't you notice something here? Whoa, won't those disappear? And yes, they do. That's the neat thing, is that's going to disappear. Those two eliminate, leaving me the limit as x approaches 7 of 1 over the square root of x plus 2 plus 3. So what we have now is a new simplified version because something disappeared. So it's kind of like factoring in a weird way, but you multiplied on to create it. It's kind of different. But now, let's see, since we dropped something out, can we plug in our number? 7. Let's try plugging 7 now. That would be 7 plus 2 plus a 3. What do we have here? That would be 1 over the square root of 9 plus 3, which is equal to 1 over 3 plus 3, which gives us 1 over 6. So the answer to this problem is 1 over 6.